Good morning. Welcome to Wake Up with the Early Nerd Live. I'm Steve, your host, the Early Nerd, and as always, I'm talking quietly because if we wake up Mrs. Early Nerd, then we're all in trouble. So I was at my Thursday game yesterday, and one of my players mentioned that a new Zelda was coming out. So I looked it up on the internet and found an article about it, and I'm going to read parts of it to you, and then we're going to talk about it. So, the new game is called Tears of the Kingdom, and from the images that are in the article, it actually looks pretty good. So, so let's check it out. Okay. When Nintendo finds itself open to criticism for becoming a bit stale, it can usually rely on its back catalog of much loved heroes to come to the rescue. Q 2023, where brave, blonde, and blade wielding Link, hero of the Zelda series, is arriving on a paraglider to appease fans. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom is tipped to become one of the best selling titles on the Nintendo Switch. A critic's darling, it is likely to quieten the chorus of fans and analysts asking questions about plans for a new console, which have been pushed back to 2024. Um, Many fans on TikTok have been making light of the saxophone featured in the trailer for Tears of the Kingdom, adding to the hype in the build up to Friday's release. The Nintendo Switch was originally released in 2017. It's incredibly popular with 125 million units shipped, but its sales figures have started to falter. Tears of the Kingdom is the sequel to the game widely considered a masterpiece. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was named GQ's best game of all time just this week. For presenter, gaming content producer, and Zelda superfan Mr. Midas, Nintendo is under serious pressure to get Tears of the Kingdom right in order to prove it is still on top of its game. He explains that Nintendo are not great at following up and argues that they make some of the greatest things we have in gaming, but when the time comes for what next, it rarely works well. A great example is the Wii, he says. It was incredibly popular and sold in huge numbers, but its follow up, the Wii U, was, he says, trash. Never played a Wii U. Did have a Wii. Liked it. It was fun. Loved playing the golf game. You know, that was so much fun. The Wii Sports, I loved it. Nintendo are so creative and always willing to push the envelope, but sometimes that doesn't work for them. These previous missteps are why we haven't had a Switch 2 announcement yet, in my opinion, because I honestly feel they are petrified with what that follow up is going to be. Mr. Midas argues that being able to prove they can iterate by making a great sequel to a bestseller is vitally important for the Japanese game giant. A free roaming role playing experience with a massive canvas for storytelling, The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom allows players to explore the vast, vibrant, and visually stunning lands of Hyrule. You're encouraged to use your imagination to solve puzzles, craft weapons, and battle to defend the land from Ganondorf, tribal chief and villain. Okay. The overwhelmingly positive critical reaction will be a relief for Nintendo bosses, especially as it legitimately shifts the focus of coverage in the gaming press away from the potential new hardware and on to the game. So Nintendo's coming out with something new, a new console. That ought to be cool, hopefully. It's perfect timing for a title of this magnitude, scope, and significance to come out. The coming months will be awash with guides, tips, and hot takes about Tears of the Kingdom. The sheer size of the game may put some casual players off entering into it, but critics have been raving. Initial reviews of the game have been positive. Tears of the Kingdom is a triumph of open ended game design that pays homage to the best parts of the Zelda franchise's own storied history, and sometimes exceeds them, wrote Steve Watts of GameSpot. There were five-star reviews from Empire, The Guardian, Metro, The Daily Mirror, and the Radio Times, whose critic Rob Lean said, "We're pleased to report that boy oh boy, Tears of the Kingdom really is a brilliant game. If Nintendo wanted to showcase a celebratory hurrah to cap off this generation, this is all that and more." Alana Hagues of Nintendo Life added, "It takes everything its predecessor does, improves on every single aspect, and gives you even more freedom, an even bigger world, and tons more secrets to uncover. It's frankly staggering and makes for an absolutely incredible experience." Famous for the freedom it gave players to explore at their own pace, Breath of the Wild sold an estimated 30 million copies. It's become so beloved with Zelda fans that you'll often hear some get heated about whether it should be considered the best Zelda game ever rather than the 1998 released Ocarina of Time. Journalist Marie LeConte bought her Switch during lockdown and poured 250 hours in Breath of the Wild. There are a million different ways to deal with any situation in the game, which I think intellectually is very gratifying, she says of her love for it. Recently proud of her achievement to complete the game without dying, the permadeath challenge, she's now booked a day off work to fully immerse herself in the sequel. "I'm just going to sit back in my pajamas and play all day. I will have to take a short break for Eurovision and then I will be back on it on Sunday." Going back to basics, I'm excited because I think it's going to be tremendously fun. I want to know what they've done to it. How different will it be? I know there will be lots of new game mechanics, ways to play, new weapons, and I want to see them all. Despite premium game releases being particularly expensive, Tears for the Kingdom is retailing at about £60 in the UK. Marie thinks that many people like her will happily make the investment because the expectations are so high. The drawback for games as a hobby is that it can be expensive. Occasionally, I've spent £50 or more on a game and then found them hard work and not enjoying them. It can be very annoying and a waste of time when that happens. With this, however, I have faith in the developers, which is not always the case. The Zelda franchise in the past has seen dramatic shifts in time, location, and visual styles between releases. Here's looking at you, Windwalker. However, this time the story follows on from where it left off, something Mr. Midas believes is a super smart move. Zelda games are beloved, but they're not the biggest selling. It doesn't sell like Grand Theft Auto or even Mario, but the way fans connected with this latest version of Link and Zelda is on another level. Nintendo are making the most of that, building on the legacy of a game which, as Mr. Midas explains, captured the imagination of people who aren't traditionally Zelda fans. Is a deliberate decision, not alienating recent converts to the franchise, gives this release a chance to outperform its successful prequel. Mr. Midas says Nintendo understands the formula and now can grow it. His expectation for Nintendo to surprise us because they always do. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom releases today. Now, That's cool. They came out with a new Zelda. I hope it's really good. I really do. Now, the I remember when Zelda first came out, like way back in the day for the Nintendo. You know, I uh, I played it on the regular Nintendo system repeatedly, and I beat it many times. You beat it once, and then it resets, and and then you play the same game, but the map is different. You have to find all the places again. And then you beat that, and then it just stays on that map, and you just keep beating it over and over and over again. It was fun. I loved Zelda. It was so much fun to play. The side scroll, up and down scroll, all that good stuff. With the overhead view was pretty cool. And then they came out with Zelda 2: The Adventures of Link. Adventures of Link was done a bit differently. It was done more as an RPG than anything else. It was You had the ability to up your health, up your magic, and up your attack skill through XP, which you received from killing monsters. Um, you also had the ability to learn new spells that did certain things depending on your level, and the whole thing was a side view, like Mario was. It was also a left, right, up, down scroller, depending. You had elevators in some of the castles that you had to go in, and this Link could jump and had a spell to make him jump high, and you could do an upward attack and a downward attack at the same time. Well, not at the exact same time. I mean, you couldn't attack both, up and down at the same time, but you could attack up or attack down. Now, I really enjoyed that game. Out of the three that I've played, that one was my favorite. And then they came out with A Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo, and I enjoyed that one as well. I beat it. That game was really fun. I really enjoyed that one as well. But I don't think that I liked it better than Link to the Past. I just really enjoyed the RPG aspect of Link to the Past. So, what do you think about the new Zelda that's coming out? The player that mentioned it to me is getting the game today, and maybe hopefully I will see her tonight, and she'll have it and bring it over and show it to me. The article showed some images of the game. That was from BBC, by the way. Just so as you know, I wish I could post a link, but YouTube doesn't let me post outside links um, because it doesn't trust me. I'm such a bad boy. Excuse me. But um, the game looks good, at least according to the images. Like I said, hopefully she'll bring it over so I can check it out because I want to see it and maybe even get a little bit of playtime and see if it's any good. And if it is, I'll let you know real quick. I'll let y'all know tomorrow if I have to. So, but I think that's about it for today. I've covered my topic. Um, excuse me. Remember, whether you're going to work or going to school on this Friday morning, yay, it's Friday. Yay, the weekend is here. We just got to get through one more day. Whether you're going to work or going to school, be careful, be safe out there, and always remember, early nerd loves y'all. Talk to y'all soon. Bye bye now.